Today, and we're at Aero Service Team. I'm joined by Chad Lyer, and today we're talking about mold. And yeah, I think when maybe, Chad, people think of mold, they think of a little corner in their bathroom or their bathtub or something like that where the humidity from the bathroom creates a little mold, but mold is a much bigger problem than that.
Yeah, and it's something that dates back a long time.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think we talked about this in an earlier segment. When I think it was in 2001, I went to New York City to learn about mold. And shortly after the Twin Towers had fallen, you know, the whole city was in chaos, but the trip was booked, so I went and did it. And I remember distinctly, I went to this class on mold remediation, the first one that I know of that was offered that I was able to go to. And it was a Jewish guy, and he's got a Christian Bible on everyone's table. And I'm like, what is up with this?
Yeah.
And his first statement was, I'm Jewish, this is a Christian Bible. You know, King James Version, whatever. And he's like, I just want to let you know that I'm looking at this from all angles, and this is the first passage I can find about how to take care of mold. And it was literally from Leviticus and the Bible, in the Old Testament.
And it talked generically about the fact that if something grows, it comes back?
Yeah, pretty distinctly on how to clean it up, scrape it, remove it, you know. And it's basically the same principles that we use today. You know, is you don't paint over it, you scrape, remove, and move forward. So.
Wow. All right. Well, mold, there's so many avenues I want to go down with you, and we've got some building materials here, and that's one area that has changed over time, which has led to more mold situations.
Yeah. The biggest thing that's changed, people are like, well, mold never used to be a big deal.
Right.
You hear that all the time.
Right.
Well, it probably wasn't as big a deal because, you know, any house that was built before 1950, there probably wasn't a lot of drywall involved.
Sheetrock, yeah.
Where there's the paper on two sides. And so this was probably 1950s, but you go back in history again, you know, to the early 1920s, and in the Ukraine, that area, kind of there's a lot of fighting going on right now. There was a lot of horses that were dying.
Right.
And 20 years later, they figured out they were dying because of their food source.
There were mold spores on it?
Their mold that they were growing that was in the hay was called Stachybotrys, which is now the black mold, if you will. You know, like that's the one that everyone's like, it's a known problem for just about anyone on Earth.
You'll evacuate a house if there's
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time that Stachybotrys was discovered. It was in the 1940s, right around that World War II
Because
time.
of horses.
Because of horses, because they took perfectly healthy horses, they grew Stachybotrys on hay, fed it to the horses died.
Unbelievable.
So we know that mold isn't good, you know, and the beautiful thing about mold is like asbestos, and you have these latency periods where you don't know you're being affected. We ended up with allergies. So generally, if someone's around mold and their body's not agreeing, they're going to have symptoms.
Sure.
And so that's a telltale.
That's a good thing.
It's by design.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that, but you know, that's an indicator that things are bad. My eyes are watering, I'm sneezing, my nose is irritated, throat sore, things like that.
Okay, so sheetrock, because it absorbs the moisture, will hang on to it a lot longer than previous building type of material.
Yeah, we've done this before in studies, Wayne. You know, we've had drywall. We've had, you know, most houses were built with concrete products and real wood before 1950. Now they're using like engineered wood with a lot of glue, a lot of drywall, a lot of latex paint. You know, lead-based paint deterred mold. Latex paint encourages mold. You know, it's just like a lot of these things. You know, the carpet back then was different materials. A lot of carpets were wool, natural materials. Now you've got like highly additive with soil, like latex glues, and just a lot more recipes for problems.
Okay, what about like you go to any new construction now, you're probably going to find spray and insulation and the fluffy insulation. That too, I would imagine, absorbs and holds moisture.
They hold moisture, but if they're done right, they're generally not a problem. But everyone, you know, at a party, New Year's, I was at a party.
Yeah.
People were talking about their utility bills and like he who had the lowest one.
Big time winner.
Yeah. But the problem is those tight houses, if you don't have some air exchange with an air exchanger or whatever, you can bundle up that humidity. Things can't dry. It's just a whole swath of problems you're creating to save money. And
let me ask you this. If people run ceiling fans and do that kind of thing, does that help at all?
It helps, but the main thing is the air exchange, you know, the temperatures, things like that, you know, because these older homes where we didn't have these mold problems, they breathed. They didn't have as much insulation. They had windows without like super high-end seals, you know. You could feel the wind blow.
Sure, absolutely. All right, mold isn't all bad. We need it in some materials, including one of the great breakthroughs in medication, penicillin, becomes from mold.
I know, it's an amazing thing. I mean, you need mold for just about everything in life. I brought some cheese. I've got a Packers fan at my house. I've learned about squeaky cheese this week, so I brought some cheese curds. I brought some other North Dakota mold favorites, some beer, some wine. Just about the list goes on. I mean, the farmers in our state need mold, you know, for all this ethanol production, the soybeans. If there wasn't, you know, fermentation, they'd be...
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, it's one of those things, again, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. If you have a water situation, the best thing to do is remediate it so you dry out the house, because mold is going to get you within how long?
You know, they say it can continue to start growing in 48 to 72 hours. Wow. So the main thing is, if you do have a water intrusion, make sure you have it under control. A lot of restoration companies like Arrow, we will actually come out and give you some advice and help you along the way. Send us some photos, and we can determine if you need help, or if we need to help you, or if you can handle it yourself with some photos. And then I guess, you know, the main thing here I want to do is a little education. You know, this is preventable.
Right. Okay. That's not a beer cooler right there. What is that?
That'd be a weird shaped beer cooler, but it's a HEPA filter. This is like something that cleans the air. Okay. So it's basically like a mask like this, only it's more for your whole house. We use that kind of stuff on like projects, you know, to knock down the particles in the air. Okay, so you probably, for lack of a better term, vacuum up the water as you can. Yep. You use fans, you use a dehumidifier, and this is the last step, or what? One of the last steps, yeah, when you're doing your final cleaning. Because this is going to lower, you know, if you've got 100 particles in the air, this is going to take you down to like 1. Okay. And so the key is with any type of contaminant, we talked about, you know, the gas, fumes, whatever, the dilution of the problem is the solution. So if you can open a window and let it out, that's fine. Well, and you brought up a good point before we came on the air here. You said we don't have gas pumps inside of a building. You do it outside so that the air is diluted from the gases and things like that. Yeah, you're filling the gas, the wind's blowing, the fumes are going away. If we'd take a 30-gallon tank and set it in the middle of our living room open with gas, we'd have a major problem in a short time. We're out of time, but I have one more quick question for you. What is the #1 telltale sign that people can look for to see if they have a mold issue? A visual and smell. Okay. Smell is what? If it smells, it's probably still wet. Okay. If it smells damp and just musty, odds are that's all right. People are going, I don't smell anything that's good. But if you do smell something, Arrow Service Team is here. How do we get a hold of you? You can go to our website, Facebook. You can give us a call at 223-9249. We got 2 locations, Bismarck and Dickinson. If you have any questions, just reach out at any of those methods and we can give you a hand. Sounds great. Chad Lyer, Arrow Service Team. We're going to take a break. North Dakota Today will continue right after this.